It was like a really valuable lesson in like hard work and what it takes. But from day one, not day one, obviously not when I was a baby, but like the second I could,
That's right.
I was hustling to make money.
Nice.
I was like knocking on my neighbor's door. Can I paint your fence? Can I clean your house? What can I do to make some money?
Yeah.
I was babysitting. I was doing whatever I could to make money because I didn't have any.
Hi guys, it's Rob from A Life That Travels. I'm super lucky today because I'm with Lena Requist, who's the president of Ontraport, an amazing company doing great things. But you've had this incredible career running numerous businesses that have been extremely successful. Tell me a little bit about how you got where you are.
Well, let's see. I'm kind of a serial business builder.
Yeah.
Ontraport's my fourth business. And before that, I was a financial planner for several years and got a background in financial planning and business and did that. And then one of my clients recruited me away.
Nice.
And we ran a startup together. And that's how I got really involved in the startup world and growing businesses. But in general, I just really like business and people and numbers and psychology, and I think that's like a nice combination for growing businesses.
Awesome. Did you start by going out of school and then going to university first, or did you do other things?
Yeah.
And how did you decide to then go into the financial planning area? Was it something that you'd always wanted?
No, I just wanted to make a lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Both of my parents were teachers, and I grew up in like kind of an affluent neighborhood, but with like parents that were teachers, and so we were like kind of poor essentially, and there was 5 kids, and my parents did like the best they could, and I got hand-me-down clothes and clothes from like Goodwill, which is, I don't know if they have that in Australia, but which is like secondhand clothes store. My mom made my clothes, sort of a thing, and so it wasn't like super awesome experience for me, but my parents were amazing. I appreciate all that they did, and it was like a really valuable lesson in like hard work and what it takes. But from day one, not day one, obviously not when I was a baby, but like the second I could,
That's right.
I was hustling to make money.
Nice.
I was like knocking on my neighbor's door. Can I paint your fence? Can I clean your house? What can I do to make some money?
Yeah.
I was babysitting. I was doing whatever I could to make money because I didn't have any. I needed to fit in or whatever with my peers at the school with like Guess jeans and actually I just bought like a little Guess jean label and sewed it on.
You're such a hustler. That's amazing.
I was a hustler. I couldn't even afford the Guess jeans, but I could afford the fake label.
What would you say because work ethic is so important, isn't it? I went through university and I was working like 6 jobs at some time to save money to go traveling and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I was working the whole time I was in school. Like I worked every second I wasn't in school. I got scholarships. I went to work early in the morning, late at night. Fortunately for me, I have a constitution where I don't need a lot of sleep.
Yeah.
But I've like always worked all the time, and it felt to me like school was just getting in the way of making money.
Yeah.
So that was always the drive for me from day one. And now that I've like become successful and made some money and grown businesses, I kind of wish I would have done it a little differently, honestly. I wish I would have taken some of that money I had earned early on and saved it and like taken some time off and seen the world, because all I want to do now is take time off and see the world. And it would have been amazing to have done it when I didn't care so much about like nice hotels and and good food. When I would have just like slept outside in like, you know, or in the dirt, you know, I would have loved to have done it, you know, at that age, and like stayed in hostels and hitchhiked and not cared. But now I kind of care, and I won't do that. And so it's a different level of travel I'd probably need to take versus now. And so I really would have wished I would have taken that gap year, because I would have probably made different decisions for myself. You know, it's an amazing education to travel the world and learn about people and cultures. And I didn't get that experience until late in my 20s. And it really was an amazing education, much more valuable than the schooling I ever got.
And tell me about that transition to startup, because if you've been in a job, you know, financial planning, you're doing well and you're starting to rise and succeed, jumping into a startup would have been a shock of a transition, no?
It is and it isn't. There's a lot of similarities, because financial planning is all about you know, money management. You know, it's like a numbers game. And the startup world, you know, you have very little resources, so it's, again, a numbers game. But then if you're a hustler, you know, and someone who just is willing to roll up their sleeves and get to work and do what needs to be done, the startup world is exactly where you need to be. And so I was the type of person who could just like get to work and like, oh, this needs to happen, fine, I'll do it. This needs to happen, great, let's go. And I knew I could figure out any problem. I knew that I was smart enough to solve whatever needed to be solved, and I had this background with money management that I could manage the money and our resources and make it last as long as it needed to last.
Nice.
Especially since I grew up poor, I could make money last. I could be clever and resourceful. So that combination made the startup world kind of a perfect fit for me.
Yeah, cool. And so what advice would you have? Like, if you could go back, travel back in time and give yourself some advice, like that point, end of high school or university, what would you go back and tell yourself, knowing what you know now?
Take some time off. You know, school will always be there, and even like now, like I've gone back and taken some classes here and there over the years, and I appreciate it so much more now. It feels like it's such a totally different perspective now when I go and take a class. Like I've taken a geology class here at our university, and it's like I enjoy the professors. I have like a fun little conversation with them. I understand that the professor is there for me, for my enjoyment, and for my I'm the customer in that scenario. I'm paying this educator, and that's all they're there to do. That's their life's work, and it's like such a different perspective, and I really appreciate being there, and they appreciate me, versus when I was in school back when I was 18 and 19. I was just a little shit. And I was no fun to be around, and the professors probably were like pissed off at me all the time.
Yeah.
It was no good.
Yeah.
So this is so much better. And I would just like take the time off, you know, grow up a little bit, and like give your professors a break.
Yeah.
You know?
I absolutely remember being at university and feeling like there was this obligation that I needed to perform. You know, this thing that I had to just get through because society like pushed it in my face and said, right, now it's time for your degree. And don't get me wrong, like, I was so lucky because I had that opportunity. But then the other thing that I really appreciated was all the diversity of things I got to try at that point. But it's so much like just shoved in your face that that's the only way to go.
Yeah. Yeah. And then also like when I was, 18 and 19, and a professor is like telling you that this is the way it is, and you're like, okay, fine. You just kind of go with it and just get your grade. And I forget, I was in my early 30s and I took a religious studies class here at the university just because I wanted to, and I didn't get a chance to when I was younger. And this professor was like going off on some random tangent. It's a different experience to then like challenge them and like, you know, say, well, wait a second, that's not true. You've read enough books now, and you've gained enough experience that you can share your opinions without, you know, feeling like, hey, this is a professor who, you know, knows more than you.
Yeah.
Well, who says they know more than you? You know, just because they have like a PH after their name doesn't. I mean, it does mean something. Of course, it does. But you know, your opinions matter, and they love that. They love the engagement, and it was actually a really amazing conversation and like little debate.
Nice.
They actually want that. They encourage that.
Nice. And now Ontraport. So Ontraport is a company that's like helps tens of thousands of people, you know, start and run businesses and scale and grow, which is an incredible mission. What have you learned by seeing so many people and all these case studies of people who've started businesses, some very small, like micro businesses, side hustles, right through to very successful large businesses? Is there something you could say about the startup journey from that, about that transition?
Yeah.
If someone was hesitating about it, like, oh, I want to go for something like that, because you've now done it.
Yeah, it's a similar journey. I see it again and again. It's almost like children, you know, as they grow up, and you see like babies, how they learn to crawl, and then they learn to walk, and then they learn to run, and it's like they all are progressing, and you know that they're going to eventually learn to run, and they kind of do it their like own little way, but they all do it, you know, they all crawl, then they all walk, and then they all run, and you can see them all progressing at their own pace in their own way, and you know where they're headed. It's such a fun experience to watch it from this side.
Amazing. And you guys are doing some fascinating stuff. I mean, I've been in this kind of community with Ontraport, which we use for our businesses, so it's a declaration of interest, hence I'm here at your user conference, which is amazing. But you know, you've really poured a heap of energy into creating those resources to help people do that, and that seems to be becoming even more and more important as we go forward, right? Supporting other people with their missions.
Yeah, it is really important because I know that so many people out there have like just so much value to provide, right? They have a dream, they have an idea, they have a purpose for their life, and they just don't have the tools or the operational know-how or the support system to get it done, and they end up spinning their wheels or wasting their nest egg or their, you know, whatever savings they have, you know, doing the wrong things.
Yeah.
And it's so sad because like we can help them.
Yeah.
We have the step-by-step instructions to make it come to life, to make their ideas come to life, to make their passion projects, you know, come to life, to have their value come forward and into the world, and without have them wasting all their time and energy and having them lose hope. And I just wish we would have, you know, found those people earlier on before they lost hope. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, like we started our business maybe a year after Ontraport started, so our first business has been running for 11 years, so a little bit less than Ontraport, but I'm like, damn it, I wish like this had been available back in the 2000s. I think people don't realise how lucky they are to have a tool like Ontraport. And you know, there's a lot of sources of education out there as well, not just, and the tools and what have you. But yeah, I mean, it's so easy now, and so it makes life so much. Looking for the right word, but easy.
Yeah,
It takes away a lot of risk.
Yeah, I just you have so many customers that we talk to them and they're crying. I have customers that come and hug me and they're just crying. They're like, oh my gosh, you just changed my world. Like, I've been trying to get this done for years, and you know, I wasted $50,000 and 5 years of my life, and all of a sudden in 2 hours you solved my problem. And it's just it's heartbreaking for me.
Nice. Well, look, awesome to chat. Thank you for so much time. And congratulations. Good luck for everything that comes next.
Yeah, of course.
See ya.
Thanks, Rob.